Welcome to this channel, and today we will do the fifth part of the chapter Rights in the Indian Constitution. In this, we will discuss about the Directive Principles of State Policy. So let's begin. Over here we will learn about Directive Principles of State Policy, or call it as DPSPs. As you know, when I was teaching you the chapter Constitution, I told you that Constitution was framed in that way in which it is suitable to all. And the makers of our Constitution knew that independent India was going to face many challenges. Look, I have written over here the foresight of the Constitution makers. The foremost among these was the challenge to bring about equality and well-being of all citizens. And for managing these kind of problem, certain policy directions was required. Like I have mentioned here, certain policies were required for handling these problems. But at the same time, the Constitution did not want the future government to be bound by any policy decision because it will bound the creativity. So some guidelines were incorporated in the Constitution which help the government in making or framing policies. But these guidelines are non-justiciable. It means part of the Constitution that cannot be enforced by the judiciary. Or, for example, we can say that we cannot go to the court asking the court to instruct the government to implement any policy. So, a separate list of guidelines included in the Constitution, and this line, or we can say this list of guidelines, called as Directive Principles of State Policy. These principles mentioned in Part 4 of the Constitution from Article 36 to 51, borrowed from the Irish Constitution. As we have learned that directive principles are not recognized by the courts, but the principles are considered fundamental in governance. And that's the duty of states to apply these principles and establish a just society. Over here, we will learn that what do the directive principles contain, means what kind of guidelines they give to the government to form certain kind of goals, policies, laws. Over here, we will talk about the three important things. The first one is the goals and objectives we as a society should adopt. Certain rights that individuals should enjoy apart from fundamental rights. And lastly, certain policies that the government should adopt. After seeing these 3 points, you may get some idea of the vision of makers of our constitution, that what they wanted from the government, what kind of policies, what kind of things they wanted to be a part of guidelines to bring development in the country. So let's discuss all these three in detail.
Now we will see in an animated manner that what the directive principles contain. But a directive principle regarding government policies contains several things. Like the directive principle make it clear that the function of the government is not limited only to the maintenance of law and order, but the government should also take the responsibility of people's welfare. It should create social conditions that enable citizens to live with dignity in the country. It should formulate policies to raise people's standards of living. People should be supplied with nutritious food and also look after the public health of the people. These are the lines along with these principles guide the governmental policies and helps in making different kind of policies for the people. The directive principle expect that India should help create world peace and should form its foreign policy accordingly. The directive principle in this category also cover objectives like free and compulsory primary education and prohibition of liquor, development of cottage industry and protection of historical monuments. So beta, these are the guidelines or directive principle regarding governmental policies. Now beta, I have formed a table of goals and non-justiciable rights and policies which are framed or guided by the directive principles for the state government to work accordingly. You can check several points I have mentioned over here. I hope you have understood today's topic, and in last, this is your home task. I have given you only one question. Please try to frame the answer in points. For any query, you can ask me in the online session. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.